BFF Report, I am your host, Mike B, aka Phony, and this is the final chapter in our Champions Online crime fighting saga. As I briefly mentioned last week, I was contacted directly by the crypto tech support team. They requested a DXDAG report, which is pretty standard, and I responded letting them know I'd get back to them that same evening. Before leaving my day job of providing tech support to phone sex operators and psychic mediums from around the world, Crypto took down the game service for emergency maintenance, which pretty much led to another patch. Now, if you look carefully at the previous videos that I had posted, you can clearly see the unique ticket numbers that piggyback the huge error files that are uploaded every time there is a crash in the game. After downloading the patch, the system crashes that I was experiencing almost completely disappeared. So, cool story, bro, right? But let's take a look at something. The email I received was at 10:30 a.m. The servers went down that same day, Friday afternoon, 3 p.m. New patch, random patch, Friday afternoon patch, downloaded, fixed all my problems. You know, some might say it's coincidence, but to everybody out there who's having issues that stopped that same day as well as mine, you're welcome. Now on to the good stuff. First, missions and boss fights. After saving Millennium City, you can later go back to quests. The city is huge and chock full of quests that will carry you well into your 20s and likely beyond. I mean, I've logged 22 hours of gameplay time, and I didn't grind once, and I have plenty of quests to do. But these things are your standard mix of gather X of Y by killing Z, but of course with a superhero twist. I have to be honest, the game is incredibly easy, and I understand that Gizmo Duck is pretty much a beast, but seriously dudes, zero challenge. It feels as if you forgot to set the game difficulty setting to fucking hard mode at the beginning, you know? If you die, it's because you're either AFK or you're an ass. Also, the multiplayer recommended supervillain quests and fights and instances are laughably easy and pretty much all go like this. Shoot stuff, block, shoot stuff again, and just keep doing it. That's of course if you don't just burst them down from the get-go, but there's only one Gizmo Duck, so I would suggest that you play it safe. And to top that off, if you specialize in power armor or gadgeteering or something like that, you can actually generate these little minions that follow you around, these little robot dudes, and turn into turrets. I mean, on top of the fact that this game is pretty freaking easy with the chainsaw or whatever kind of melee weapon, you just get them all in a group and just mow them down, you can now put turrets, and it just, you know, you can just not do anything and just let them do all the work. Now on to the very tender subject of PvP, and I know I was going to cover this last week, but I wanted to get enough footage together so I could show you guys exactly how things work in the Champions Online PvP area. First, there's no more, oh, get out noob, you're too low level, you're just going to bring us down. That doesn't exist in this game because when you enter in, let's say for example in the 11 to 20 bracket, if you enter in at level 11, it will bump you up to level 20. Now obviously you're not going to gain all of the skills and the different sets and things that you would have if you were actually 20, but the damage you put out and your actual HP would be equivalent to that of somebody who is level 20. Now, besides the fact that there's always going to be like a flavor of the month build where they're going to keep you on lockdown and take you from 100 to 0 in like 1.5 seconds, it seems that's pretty much going to come down to how are you going to get out of that lockdown. Now, I'm certainly not claiming to be a PvP genius in this thing, but let me show you what it's like to not have that easy out. So I think you get the hint. Now let me introduce you to teleportation, which is pretty much the king as far as flight abilities in PvP. This is what it's like to have the rogue vanish ability on demand, no CD. Well, that pretty much wraps up our coverage for Champions Online, but before we wrap things up, there's one more thing that I feel is very important that I show you. Somewhere in Millennium City, I get this quest, and it's like, oh my gosh, you have to save this TV station that's under siege by Foxbat, the evil supervillain. No problem, it's just another quest. I walk in the door, the first thing I see is the banner. Seriously, Cryptic? The W cock? I guess we couldn't be any more subtle. So anyways, you go through the cock and you save all these reporters for being assaulted by these random mobs. You save them, and then you go into the main studio where you see Foxbat assaulting the news anchor. You take him out, tank and spank, blah blah blah, do your thing, and you look around. Now, what is the one thing that every legit news studio has? A weatherman. And what is that one thing that every weatherman has to have in order to be legit? A green screen. And what better way to conclude this series of Champions Online by allowing Gizmo Duck to take over from here? Gizmo Duck, can you hear me?
안녕하세요. Hello, Miker. This is Gizmo Duck. And, hello?
It's not exactly what I thought you'd sound
Hello,
like.
hello,
But,
hello,
feel free to
hello.
take it from here. This is Mike B with the BFF report.
Yes.
And
Hello?
yes. No, I can hear you. Yes.
Hi,
Yeah,
okay.
BFF. Yeah, just you know what? Just
hello.
just do the closing credits, okay?
Welcome to the BFF report. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. Tell your friends and leave in the feedback to I am the Microbe on the Twitters. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.